Okay, I'm probably going to title this video making a new wheel for the 2-bottom Oliver drag plow. I bought this plow right there at auction 2 weeks ago. Didn't know exactly what it was, but it's a 2-bottom drag plow, which is what I was looking for to pull behind my John Deere D. The plow does not have a hitch on the front of it here. I need to fashion a hitch for it. But it also, this wheel on this side over here was completely rusted out. And I have to make a new wheel because I couldn't find that bolt pattern. I'll show you that in a minute. This plow is what the local guys, to me, call a rooster tail plow. Reason being, this mechanism right here, which is what raises the plow up and down, when you pull on this lever right here, it makes the plow go up and down when you're plowing. This rooster tail or rooster comb, two names for it, climbs that wheel that spins when the wheel is turning on the ground, and that's what raises your plow up in the ground to bring the plows up out of the ground to move over to your next furrow. So that's what we're doing today. I'm working on making a wheel because I couldn't find that bolt pattern. I'll show you that here in just a minute. The wheel that came off of that plow, and it had obviously been setting and collecting water. This is where the valve stem come up out, and it was setting apparently with the valve stem down, and it just completely rusted out. You can see there's nothing left there. So I hunted online and stuff. This is a 5-inch center to center 6-bolt hole pattern with a 3 3/4 pilot hole. I couldn't find that anywhere. The more common is a 6-inch pattern on a 6-bolt hole with a 5-inch or a 4.5-inch, whatever you want, pilot hole. Those are the common, very common ones. Also, this has the square holes in it for the bolts. I'm trying to think of the name of that kind of bolt. I'll get it eventually here. Anyway, I couldn't find that. What I could find was lots and lots of these, was wheels, the 6-inch bolt hole pattern with a 5-inch pilot with a 6-inch center to center. Those, man, I could find thousands of these. Some at the tractor junkyard, and I'm looking around, and this is what he had, and he sold me this wheel with that tire on it, which that tire's junk. That tire, I just took that tire off, and see that tire's split. It had a 516 on it, implement tire, but he sold me that for 20 bucks, and I thought, crap, for 20 bucks. You can't beat that. Here's a tire come off of my wheel. I'm going to try and use it again, at least for the plow days that's coming up. That's what this is all about. There's a plow days coming up here in a couple, well, actually this is Friday, not tomorrow Saturday, but the following Saturday there's plow days. And I want to get that John Deere out, get it going, get this wheel changed, and go to plow days and just try and plow with it just to see how it will do. I figure John Deere D ought to pull a 2-bottom plow without any problem. So what I'm going to do, this is riveted. As you can see, there's no evidence of the rivets inside here. No, If there ever was, there's no evidence left. Here's a good shot of the rivets. So there's the rivets. I'm just going to grind those heads off. Take a center punch them down through on 4 spots, and try and get this center out of there without marring it, destroying it, molesting it too bad. And that'll work. Now, I measured when I bought that wheel that this inside center to center is the same on both wheels. So, now this is going to be a little tougher to get out because it looks like it's welded in. There's no evidence on this side. But here, it's obviously welded somehow. I'd like to try and save this if I could, but if I can, I can't. Like I said, you can find these stinking wheels everywhere. If I ever needed one, I just run up to the junkyard again and get another one. So if I got to cut this flange off here and then grind that out, I'm not sure how I'll do these. This is an experiment. But I'll see how I can get this out. And then once I get this center out of here, that center there goes in this wheel. And then that tire and tube go back on that. I'm good to go. The one on the other side of that plow is still good. It's not rusted out or nothing, and it's holding air. So it's good to go. So that's what I'm up to. That's what I'm going to work on today. I'm not going to film every step of this. That's too much hassle and trouble and all that stuff to do this. I'll stop along the way. When I get that one out, I'll show you. When I get this one out, I'll show you. When I put that one back in, I'll show you. And then when it's welded and all done, I'll show you. And you can see the basic steps. I mean, this is all pretty rudimentary stuff here. Take one out, put it in the other one, weld it in. That's it. So anyway, that's what we're up to today. So here we go. Set of holes. And here's what I've learned. I thought I could grind the tops off like this, like I did this one. I got them all ground off, ground the heads off, and then take a punch and drive them down out. But they didn't want to drive out, obviously. So what I did, I got to looking at that, I come around the back and I found where they were at here. I ground them off here. There was a little bit of a nubbin in here, just ground them off as flush as I could. Then took my Harbor Freight step drill bit and drilled them out with that. Now that should work. I can see a definite separation of the two pieces of plate there. So I should have all the rivet drilled out. I didn't exactly drill dead center, but it should, I drilled past that, so it should, the size of the rivet, so I should have that ready. That should be out of there. So it shouldn't matter what size. If I have to drill these a little bit bigger, big deal. I just tack weld them in there, spot weld them in there with the welder whenever I go to weld them in that wheel there. So that should work pretty easy. So there's the update so far, how I'm getting these out. I'm going to drill these all out, and then this center should come right out of there. And without any trouble, shouldn't have to beat it up or distort it too much, I'm hoping. So anyway, that's how I'm doing it. Okay, so here we are. I got all the holes drilled out all around, you can see. All 4 spots. And I've just been taking a hammer like this and then driving on it with a ball peen hammer and driving it down out. Going around the circle here and driving this center ring down out. It's coming right out, no trouble. So that's working well. So there it is, it's clear out. The center's out. There's the old rim. What's left of it. That goes to scrapyard, that's junk. Now we'll start on that one there. Okay, there's the second wheel ring out. And I just took to cutting it out with a torch. I was going to try and get these lugs off of this wheel here. Right here, that lug off of that wheel and everything. But they got them spot welded on there. And it's just going to be easier to burn them off. And like I say, I can get these wheels for $20 a piece. So that's where we're at. There's the next one out. I'm just going to clean this up, get these lugs off of here, or whatever you would call these pieces here. Get these off with the torch. Make sure I stay out of the wheel, and then grind it up, clean it up, and we'll go from there. Okay, there it is with that new center installed. I got all those pieces cut off of this old rim that were holding that other center in. Then I took and I ground this all up and cleaned it all up, dressed it up good and smooth as best I could to get that right. And then I cleaned up all the edges all around all this old rim, the original rim, center here, and got it. And then I worked from the back side here to get it pushed down in. Now this rim here is just a shade wider than the original rim, but the rim that's still on over there on the plow shows this center being flush with the inside. So I'm just going to make it flush with the inside here, more or less, just to make it easy on me to get it put together. If I try and, should I keep it square here? If I try and get it centered or something, you know, you have a hard time making sure that measurement's exact. You could do it, and it just take a lot more time and stuff, but, you know, why bother if you don't have to? It's the way I'm looking at it. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to weld these holes shut. It's basically plug welding. I'll plug weld these with 3/32 70/18 welding rod, and then I'll run 3/32 70/18 around the whole length of this, the whole thing. I mean, it's on a plow. If this was going to go down the road or something at 60 mile an hour, I would really, I wouldn't do this. I would rethink this, obviously, and go buy a rim. But for, to go, you know, 3-4 mile an hour to go through a plowed field, this will work perfect. This will be fine. So anyway, so that's where we're at so far. That's the next thing to do is, I guess, get the welder out and get the plug welding here and get her welded up. Okay, there we are. I got it all set in. Got I plug welded each one of them holes that I had drilled in there. And then I just run I thought, what the heck, while I'm here, I just run a bead across the top there, or the backside, whatever you want to call that, and welded them to the rim so that it's absolutely secure. I don't see how that could ever come loose. I ain't going to chip my welds there. They're good welds. But I don't need anybody commenting on my welding as an amateur, or whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. It'll hold. That's all that counts. So, but there it is. Now it's welded in. Obviously, this was a red rim at one time on that plow. Or the other rim that's on there has some of the, like, Moline yellow on it, or Oliver yellow on it. So, and I have seen them online painted both ways. Wheels painted yellow, wheels painted red. I think I'll paint them red, just simply because red's easier to get a hold of. I can get yellow, but I only get safety yellow, which is bright yellow. It's not that orangish yellow like a Moline yellow or Oliver yellow. So I'll paint them red. Paint them Farmall red or something. And that'll be close enough. But there it is. That wheel's installed. That wheel's done. I took it over and bolted on 2 places and spun it. It's about 1/8 of an inch out of true straight. Big deal. You'll never see that going down a plow fur, you know. So, but there it is. That's the wheel. That's making a new wheel for an old plow right there. That's it. Well, God bless. Thanks for watching.